And we're live.
Are we? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I'm barely alive, that's for sure.
No, I just said live. I didn't say anything about alive.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because it's like, I think that after we got off the air on Monday, I've been sleeping ever since.
Oh my gosh. But are you feeling better?
I'm feeling, yeah, I'm still kind of not 100%, but I am feeling better though. You
You
know,
sound a little nasally.
no, I'm still congested. It was worse yesterday, but I'm still congested. I'm still probably by Monday, I'll be over this. But yeah, it's like this week I was definitely sick. Where not last week, but the week before last week, I thought I was coming down with something and didn't. This week I was definitely sick. So
I definitely got the crud.
yeah, definitely got the crud. So hey, so it's like, and I'm a little tired of the taste of NyQuil.
I got used to this like sipping fine cherry wine.
Oh, no, it's
Now I
just
got to where I quit even measuring that shit last
yeah.
week.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you get the
you're
bottle,
just
just kick it
yeah.
back. Good morning, everyone. It is November 15th,
Ah,
2024, and this is the
mhm.
Raging Tea, the vlogs.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, guess what?
Okay, what?
Tonight, we're going to watch a dude get knocked out.
Oh,
Logan Paul and Mike
it's the
Tyson.
Tyson the
Finally, it's
Tyson thing.
finally gonna happen, and I cannot wait to see that fucking smart ass YouTuber get his fucking shit laid out.
Right. It's like, I don't
That
know. I
59-year-old
mean,
man.
don't count anybody out yet. It's
Well,
like we made that mistake before.
yeah, we have, but either way, it's like I
Yeah.
can't wait to see his pretty face get bashed
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, don't
Not condoning violence. Not condoning violence.
it's like, what? Don't underestimate anything now.
Yeah,
Really. Uh,
yeah, and the world is full of surprises, and most of them
yeah.
disappointing.
Well, it is what it is.
Let's try to be happier. You ready to
Okay.
start this crap in the show?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But hit it.
Trigger warning, fuck you.
And fuck you.
That's a mood. That's a mood. Yeah. Oh, because always remember, um, Mike
That's
Tyson
what
still
I'm
has
saying.
Mike Tyson still has a welt that has Buster Douglas's name on it.
Oh,
So don't count anybody out. Oh my goodness. So
good
good
morning,
morning,
Melissa
everybody.
and Rob.
Obviously, these are all the people in the chats. Melissa, Rob,
Lou,
Lou. Hello, Lou. Who else is it? Did I miss anybody? No,
I
it's like
think that's
Rob,
all that's
Melissa, and Lou
commented.
right now, right? Yeah. So get my shit
I think the
together.
only way that Tyson isn't going to take this in the first round is if it's rigged for a rematch because there's so much money in a
Oh,
rematch.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised, but it would just be awesome if it was a legit throwdown
All
and
right.
you know.
Because it's hard to tell nowadays, especially when it comes to people on the internet, that it's like, oh, it's all fake, you know. It's like, Buster Douglas comes out with a chair, folding chair. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Wrong sport.
Yeah, I know. So good morning, everybody. And yes, I see you, our beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. Like I said, if I'm a little slow today, it's because I'm still getting over a cold this week that's been just having that had me knocked out for the week. So I'm still a little groggy with that. And if you're joining us from Facebook, what?
We spoke what, twice in a week?
Yeah, it was just like it's like literally I was just like, well, so what you doing? Sleeping. That's what I'm doing. And if you're joining us from Facebook, if you're joining us from LinkedIn, come on over to YouTube, join the Sexy People.
Twitter.
Twitter. Are we back on Twitter?
We are back on Twitter, at least temporarily, because I'm trying to see if that blue check mark says it does what that fucking motherfucking says it
okay.
does.
All right. So, but still, though, come on over to YouTube, join the Sexy People in the chat. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified whenever any of our shows go live.
Good morning,
Oh
Grant.
my goodness. Oh, good morning,
Good
Grant.
morning,
Oh
Lorraine.
yeah, slow is major feels. Hey, Lorraine, Jesus. And it's like, yeah, it's like she's like she's super slow too, because she has her foot in a boot now.
Oh,
You know, so everybody lying down right now. Oh my goodness. So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
Valar Morghulis.
Valar Duharis.
And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which is currently running on Kickstarter right now. I haven't even had the energy to keep up with the campaign. Like I post here and there now, but I don't even know how many days it has left on Kickstarter. It's like this poor campaign. I haven't been giving it the love that it should have, but I've just been out of it. But it is on Kickstarter right now with volume 1 of the Tears of the Mother story arc, which collects issues 1 through 4 of this 8-issue limited series. The link is in the chat and in the show notes. And I am also 14 days left. No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks left.
2 weeks left.
And I am known for my medieval fantasy drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which returns to Kickstarter with issue 9 in January 2025 of this 16-issue series. In the meantime, you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage Art. That's LAGE, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And to tell you more about it, here's Nita.
Sometimes it's at indiecomicsnetwork.com. Other times it's at indiecomicsnet. You never know. But you can always find us through a simple Google search. All you got to do is Google search Indie Comics Network. And we'll
we usually show
and
up.
it's like creators talking comics and stuff.
Yeah, and stuff.
Just stuff.
And stuff. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I have just been with just enough energy this week to finish inking a couple of commissions, sleep, and work on my Spanish and Duolingo.
I'm working on my High Valerian.
Right. Yeah. It's like it's soon coming. I'm on Blue Sky already.
We're on Blue Sky already.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can stream.
No, I don't think so yet.
At least not without embedding and shit like we have to do on Instagram. And I'm not doing that every freaking episode.
No, it has to be convenient or we don't do it.
Yeah.
But I do have an account on Blue Sky. Nita has one. It's all in our link tree. So you can find us there. But yeah, it's like, so I've just been like, so it's like I'll be lying down on the sofa sleeping, and then it's like the little owl, that little goddamn owl keeps like going, oh, gotta practice your Spanish. And I go, oh, okay, fine. Yo bebo, two babies. El bebe, fine. Yo comes, tú comes. Él come. Fine. give me my stars. So yeah, so I've just been like going through, doing Duolingo with just learning Spanish, so I can talk to my handyman. It's like, either I could talk to my handyman, or when I get deported,
Right.
or when I get deported, I could talk to people, whichever comes
Oh my
first.
God.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, I know everybody's a hot mess this week.
Melissa coughed and hurt her throat.
I pulled my back once.
Holy
coughing.
crap.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've just been just so messy. Just so messy.
It's just a chaotic mess here.
Yeah. So I've been doing that, getting stuck on Spanish verbs on Duolingo. But at least I tried to be a little productive this week, aside from sleeping. But because it's like, it's mind you, it wasn't one of those colds that kind of like I got like a little congested. I'm still congested now. It's not like it went like full blown, when it's like you're coughing and hacking up and that it's kind of like, nah, you're just tired all the time.
Yeah.
I think the most surprising thing, what, for all the dumb bitches who complain about, all these kids and their pronouns, right? Bread has a fucking pronoun in Spanish. Breads have pronouns. Literally, that was one of the first lessons. Bread are boys. Bread are boys and apples are girls. In Spanish. So it's like I'm sitting there going, oh my God, is a chair a boy or a girl? like literally that's how Spanish works. Everything, it's like it's either male or female. It's an incredibly gendered language. That's why the whole thing with the whole like Latinx thing made absolutely no sense to me, because it's like the entire fucking language is gendered. You have to know whether the bread is a boy. Bread are boys, apples are girls. And I'm sitting there going, tú comes, yo como, tú come. Él comes el pan. So that's, so what were we talking about?
Spanish lessons.
Spanish lessons. Yeah, exactly. Spanish lessons. So it was just like, so I was just doing that. And also, I did finish a couple of my commissions. I'm on the last 3 of my random commissions. That makes sense, like English, right?
Yeah, okay.
Where we steal from German, French.
Yeah, we know. German, French, Latin, Spanish.
Right. And then learning why goose is the plural of goose is geese, but the plural of moose is moose. Because their origins are from 2 different languages.
Eek.
Yeah. So
and then there's red.
Right. Exactly. That's so it's like, so I finished, so I'm on the last 3 of my random that you'll hurt yourself learning German.
Yes, because they do it the same and angrily.
Yeah, exactly.
God, when my Oma used to talk to us, she always sounded mad. It was always trouble, always. It's like, please speak English, because I don't know if you love me right now or.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. So what was I keep saying? Oh yeah, the commissions, right? So I just have to color. I just have to color in these 3 pieces, and then I can get these 3 commissions out. And I think I might have 15 commissions left.
Woo, boy,
from House of Bob. Yeah, it's like, so I have to get back on the ball with them. So because now the next set of commissions, this next batch of commissions is all like the custom ones. So I have to pay more attention to these because the details are going to be more specific to whoever got them. So but yeah, so I'm just slowly getting through that, slowly getting through. I was able to like finish a couple of panels of one page on issue 9. You know, that's how slow I am this week, you know. So you know, so at least, you know, you learn more languages that way. you know, you know, so yeah, I think if you wanted to like be surrounded by Germans, you have to go to Michigan. I think that there's like a huge German population in Michigan. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's kind of weird like that. But yeah, so so what have you been up to?
I have been focusing on revamping my social media and working on blogs and Substacks for a few companies and just
Oh,
I've been busy.
yeah,
But the
yeah.
biggest thing is I finally bit the bullet, and outside of links, which is all I'm posting to my old social media
Right.
account, I am primarily on the new account. And surprisingly, or not really surprisingly, the reach and engagement is already matching tit for tat. I mean, like seriously,
What we
as
were
it was
talking
on the
about
other
on
account, the
Monday.
throttled account.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking insane. It's like,
right.
okay, Facebook, I see you.
Right. Yeah. But like
I see you.
yeah. But I mean, I think, you know, in the end, it's, you know, it's, I don't know, especially with the new year coming up, that it's like, you know what, it is kind of like time to clean house, you
Straight
know?
plates.
Yeah, scrape the plate 2025. you know, it's like I'm done, you know? Um, because that was something that was really like, especially these last 2 weeks. Well, especially this last week, because all I can do when I'm lying down and not, you know, and not trying to figure out Spanish verbs and the genders of breads, that you know, like thinking about it's like, okay, how am I going to do this? You know, and you know, I've always said that if you wanted like a master class on, if you wanted to follow somebody who's a master class and trying to negotiate um this Kickstarter, you know, like this Kickstarter thing, right? I always said that Rob Multari is a master class in
Right.
like how it's like how you negotiate through this Kickstarter landscape. You know, like he started off being a little too ambitious with a failed campaign, but then it's like the way, yeah, you, Rob,
Yeah,
yeah,
you.
you know, and then
We
it's like the
always use you
way,
as an example.
yeah, and the way he strategized and maneuvered his way, you know, to where he is now, you know, with 2 very successful series, you know, on Kickstarter. That, you know, it's like he's, you know, where it's like now it's like, you know, it's a good thing to see. Like I was just rewatching Rob's because I didn't get to finish it. Rob was on Catch the Craze with Sam and George. What was it, last week? I think I don't remember. It was this week or last week. I don't remember. No, last week. And you know, and he was talking about, you know, his trajectory and what had happened. And it's like, you know, sometimes we get caught up with our trajectory looking like a straight line when really it looks like this.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, the thing is that like if this is really something you want to do, I'm just too stubborn to quit, right? Like if this is something you really want to do, you figure out this part. You know, I
Right.
mean, it's like the people who just want to go from A to Z in a straight line, those are the ones who don't make it. You know, because they don't know what happens when it's like they want to go to A to Z and they end up at Q, you know, or they end up
Yeah.
at C, you know. I mean, it's like and then they panic and then they don't know how to deal with that. And and this is something that I've kind of like been, especially these past couple of months, really, been trying to like figure out. And the thing is, so I'm listening to the show, right? And then I realized something else too. This I realized a couple of weeks ago. The other masterclass that I think is important for people to pay attention to is Sam Vera himself.
Yeah.
Like, he really is another masterclass in, like, he started back in the day with the first like indie comics podcast that existed. And he was doing his own comics back then he had to leave the game for 10 years, and then he came back to the Kickstarter scene. Unfortunately, found out that Kickstarter was not working for him, right? And for a little while, it looked a little hairy, that it's like, yeah, it's like, especially when like he had a project like Duty that I thought was going to blow up on Kickstarter. I really did. I really honestly did. But it didn't, as sometimes these things happen. And like, it was just kind of like interesting to see how it's like he went like, because because it's like, he's like, you know what, Kickstarter's not my thing. I got to figure something else out. And he started pouring his effort into conventions. And it's like, okay, how's that's going to work, right? And the absolute pivot he's made in the last year, especially with Duty, with how he handles not being on Kickstarter, is just, it's just amazing to watch, because it's like, wow, it's like, one, it made me realize how it's very easy to get dependent on Kickstarter, especially if you kind of like have some minor success on it. I mean, it's like I said, it's like going to a convention. It doesn't have the same ROI for me as doing a Kickstarter. But at the same time, it's like ignoring conventions might be to my own detriment as well, because it's like, it's like there's different things that happen at conventions. And watching Sam really maneuver his way through the very different landscape of conventions now than when we started back in the day. Where now it's all about like prints and celebrities and tchotchkes and keychains, and and people are like going, they look at your indie comic and they go, ooh, what's that? Ew. It's like they don't like people are just like, they're at a comic book convention and they get surprised at seeing comics there. Like, ooh, what's that?
What is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Except I wish they would have the more, what is that approach now? But like we said before, that curiosity's gone. If they don't see something familiar, they pass you by.
And what I found fascinating is watching how Sam, like the rest of us started, like we started, like we really resented like the print sellers, and it's like artist alleys that wasn't about artists anymore, it's, and he's like going, you know what, nah. And Sam literally went, I refuse to get taken out like that, and it's like, he wanted to focus. It's like he literally asked himself, like, how do I put all my attention onto this comic that I'm doing and force everybody's attention on it while still navigating the changing landscape of the artist alley circuit. It's like, okay, if I'm competing, I'm a comic book guy competing with print mongers. How do I compete with that? Right. So instead of, and honestly, this was the part that I thought was absolutely brilliant. because it's like it was already established in his comic that Duty is kind of like, he has a very overactive imagination, and he imagines himself in all these different scenarios and all these different characters. He's kind of like a cosplayer. And he took that idea, and it's like, okay, if I'm competing with fan art, right? How do I make fan art that still forces you to pay attention to my comic? And he started making these fan art prints of Duty dressed, but it's like it's Duty cosplaying.
Right.
And I think at first it just started off as like a fluke. It's like, oh, he just wanted like to do like these shows, and all of a sudden he started getting an audience for that. Oh, can you dress up Duty as this? Can you do Duty like that? You know, it's like, can you dress him as a Superman, as Naruto, as, you know, Goku? And it's like, and the more prints that he made of these cosplay prints, the more interest he started getting at conventions, the more attention he started getting, where it's now at a point where people are literally coming to, it's like, oh, I want to see Duty dressed up as, right? So even though they're looking for a Deadpool print, they're looking at Duty. They're paying attention to Duty. Lou says a lot of Sam's customers want to wait to see him at a con to buy from him. They don't show interest in Kickstarter type funding. Right. So in the end, he developed a completely different audience.
Right.
So, you know, and it's just absolutely fascinating to see like how he's maneuvering this landscape. That's like, I've gone back and I started like re-listening to his older shows, you know, especially the, you know, like Get Your Meds segments and all that. And it's like, okay, it's like, you know, what wasn't I paying attention before that I need to pay attention to now? You know, especially now that I want to get back into conventions, it's like, okay, what wisdom does Sam have? You know, and it's obvious, you know, and especially realizing that the other thing is that he's one of the only, actually, he is the only comic book person doing Artist Alley content. When I watch Artist Alley content on YouTube, it's usually all these girls and their tchotchkes and their stickers and their stationery at anime conventions. None of them are doing comics. None of them are even doing manga things. They're all doing like fan art and tchotchkes and trying to create their own little Hello Kitty, you know, generic character things.
Right.
And you know, and Sam is the only one who's doing comics, but, you know, like doing Artist Alley content from an from a comic book perspective. And the thing is, though, is that even, you know, he had to embrace kind of like that stationary culture a little bit in order to push, but it's all Duty related. You know, like all his stickers are Duty, all his, you know, all his prints are Duty. Anything that he makes is Duty. You know, I guess Rob does the same thing too. Everything he does at a convention is all Nightwolf. It's all Snowpaw. You know, it's not like he's selling fan art, like generic fan art. Like even his fan art covers, right, are his characters dressed up.
Right.
His characters dressed up as Baroness. I think the last one he did was Baroness or something, right? You know, he does fan art, but it's his characters, you know, so it's like they do this combination. That's his character. It's Duty, the alien. It's Duty from Uranus. Well, actually,
we're 5 now.
Yes, exactly. Look, it's like it's Dudarius. I like the full name, Dudarius. I like that. You know, it's like, you know, it's like, look, I just think the reason why I thought Sam was on to something was because he took, like, come on, one of the funniest jokes we ever heard at 5.
Right.
Thing, right? So him and Rob are very similar in that sense, where it's like they're very all in on their characters, on their books, and it's like they're kind of like working this changing landscape in conventions, but they're still staying focused on their characters, which was something that I don't know, you would think would be obvious, but I kind of, I guess, like got lost myself thinking about this, got lost in the weeds. Um, because it's like, especially like the way, like I'm feeling about, it's like, oh, I'm feeling like I need to be taking a different trajectory. Like I feel like staying completely in independent comics is being more of a disservice to me, and it's like staying completely on Kickstarter is kind of a disservice. Like there's a wider audience potential out there that I'm trading for comfort. And and it's like it's like, okay, so how do I kind of like step out of that? Where it's like, yeah, Kickstarters are easy, but I think that I've hit the plateau of the audience that I could build there. So what steps do I take next? Right. The thing is, though, is that I've done the fan art thing and I hated it. Like I made all these generic fan art prints, and the audience that I ended up attracting with them was not the people I wanted. People who just want fan art, they just want the fan art. They're not interested in your book. You can't get them interested in your book, right? So what's the middle ground, right?
Right.
And, and I'm looking at Sam, and it's like, oh, okay, he does this whole cosplay thing. And the thing is, though, it's not like he's the only person who's done this cosplay thing. We've seen that other creators do that, where they do their characters dressed up as, whatever, right? Their variant covers or whatnot, except Duty is making, like Duty is like a whole series of his own cosplay.
Right.
And I think during Halloween, I played around with the idea because you had wanted to see an Eager Raven.
I got what I wanted out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was playing around, it's like, oh, well, it's Halloween, it's like, at least it's thematically it fits. Let me just play around with the idea and see what it looks like, right? And it's like, okay, it's like, and I did, I did the She-Ra one, I did an Amalthea one, and I did a Beauty and the Beast one. So I did a set of 3, and it's like, I'm kind of like, and it's like, I don't know, maybe there is something to this. It's like, could I imagine myself selling these types of prints at a convention along with the book? Like, would this have the same appeal, right? And then it's like during the week, I had like, in this NyQuil fused haze, I ended up doing a 4th piece that I don't know if you've seen, because I posted it because this one was really random. It's Eager Raven with Ripley.
I see it.
And I'm like, I don't know if this is the smartest thing I've done or the stupidest thing I've done. But the thing is, though, is I actually like the way the piece came out, so I might do it as a variant cover on the next campaign. Just or like either a print or a variant cover, just to, like, because it's just like so stupid I have to use it. I mean, it's just really funny looking. And and I go, that was actually a pretty fun piece to do. And it's like, well, what if I kept going, right? But here's the trick. Oh, yeah, here's the piece.
I love it. It's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. You see, and that's the thing that I had to remember too, that it's like, the one thing that I didn't want to do is I didn't want to force pieces out.
Right.
Because in the end, that was the mistake that I made when I was doing all the fan art that I was doing, that I got to a point where I was forcing pieces out. And when you force a piece out, it affects the quality of the piece. So so it's like, okay, it's like, like that piece was kind of fun to do. So, but I don't want to force anything out.
Right. No.
And then it's like, I was thinking about, yeah, that was the
I
other
love
one.
this.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
it.
And I was thinking about Monsterotica, right? So
Right.
Monsterotica is a convention I'm going to in May. That's for authors who literally do monster erotica novels. Like, it's that specific. It's, we like to lovingly call it the Monster Fucker convention. Right? Now, I tried to get a table, but they said, "Oh, you don't fit what we're looking for." And I go, "Fine." I took the L because, like, you know what? They're right. It's like there's nothing I have portfolio wise that fits that.
Right.
And and then it's like, and it was really bothering me. Like, I'm going to go to the convention just to scope it out. It's like, is this something that I could do? It's like, is this an audience that I could cater to? Right. But the thing is, what was bothering me always was, like, was this an audience I really wanted to cater to? Did I want to, like, did I really want to spend my time creating a whole new different portfolio just for this audience, that are into, like, sexy cryptids and fae kings and
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just kind of figuring out how it works, how it's coming true, right? Fae kings and Navi style aliens and that type of thing, and it's like, damn, it's like, there was something about having to change my entire portfolio that didn't sit right with me, because it's like, I really hate the feeling of starting over again. I really do. I really, it's like, my entire career, it's always felt like that it's like every transition was me starting from zero again. Like, there never was a place where I felt like I was moving from a place of traction. Like, okay, I'm already
Right.
heading in that direction. It's like, no, it always felt like starting from zero. And it's like, and it's like, I'm like, oh, is that what's going to happen here? It's like, I gotta kind of get into drawing all these fae princes and shit, and I realized that it's like, as much as I enjoy the books, I wasn't enjoying the idea of what I had to do to cater to this audience. I was already kind of dreading it, and it's like, is this a transition I really want to make? And this week, when I was, like, sitting, just, like, kind of, like, lying in my NyQuil haze, like, just, like, random thoughts and in between Spanish verbs, I was watching, Sam again, right? And, and it's like, everything he does is to the service of what he does already. Like, he started doing fan art, but it was on his terms. It was like, okay, you're going to get fan art, but it's going to be duty dress. You're going to forever be looking at my character dressed up as Deadpool, Like, you're going to be forever looking at that character at minimum, And it's like, okay, so it's like, so what am I doing already? It's like, so the only thing that I could think of, right? So yesterday, what I had done was I had made a list of, like, okay, what's kind of hot in this fandom, right? In this different literary erotica fandom, right? And I listed it. It's like werewolves, vampires, fae kings, cryptids, yeah, it's like, okay, so it's like, all right, so I'm looking at this list, and then I go, okay, you know what? Sometimes you kind of have to, like, just jump into the deep end to figure out whether you could swim or not.
Right.
So it's like, okay, let me start making something. You know, if I were going to redo my portfolio, let me make something, right? So I go, if I were going to make a print, right? If I was going to make my first print for preparing for this convention, what would it be, right? So what would interest me the most? And of course, I zeroed completely in on werewolves. You know, it's like, okay, you know what? Let's go straight. Let's start here. Let's start in the let's start in the easy, you know, the easy part, right? It's like, okay, werewolves already into it. Let's do something, right?
Right.
So I started sketching out something. Okay, you know, it's like, all right, you know, we're kind of like, and then it's like, you know, as I'm working on it, I kind of like have this kind of like, wait a minute, what am I'm drawing furry art.
How?
You know, I'm sitting here, you know, like, wait a minute, right? And then it's like, I take the piece, I'm sketching out the piece, and then I add another layer to it. Let's just say there's a variant to this piece. And I'm like going, this is still furry art. You know? And then I think about the books that I actually like. You know, like the Omegaverse manga that I was reading, and you know, the Omegaverse novel that Myra Danvers did for Kickstarter that I read recently. And it's like, and I'm like going, this is furry art. I'm drawing furry art. You know? And then it kind of hit me that it's like Omegaverse is for women who don't want to admit they're furries.
Exactly.
You know, they're not werewolves. Because in the end, they're not werewolves. You know, they're furry wolves. And it's like, you know, did I just make this whole thing more complicated? That like I completely overthought this. You know, that it's like we do. And then it's like, wait a minute. I was here already. I was already in this space already. I was just reading too much into it. You know? And it's like, and I was telling Nita, and I go, you know what? What if catering to this audience is just me realizing that Monster Erotica is what if furry fandom was run by women?
Huh.
What if that's the angle? What if that's
women sipping their wines?
Right. Reading about getting railed by literal wolfmen. Right? I'm here already. I'm not starting at zero. You know?
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. It's like I'm drawing artwork for women who are disappointed that Beast turned human.
Huh.
You know? They're furries. You know, and it's like, yes, the world, and you know what? And when the world becomes weird, your job is to get weirder. And yes, I was doing it before it was underground cool, you know? And it's like, you know what? That's, you know, it's like, because you know what? What do I, and then that's when I ask myself, if I move into this space, this Monster Erotica space, how do I want these women to know me?
You walk in the room like you own it. You just came full circle.
You know,
I am like, your god, bitches.
I'm the weirdo that does the furry shit that you masturbate to.
Dude, yes.
I'm the wolf weirdo in that space. It's like, you know what? It's like, if that's what I get known as, right? Oh, I have been. There are other conventions, Romancelandia, conventions. I have a whole list. There's several of them in Washington, D.C. There's another one in Orlando, although I think that was more of like a heavier kink convention, but we could work that. You know, That's the one that I found out that when they were talking about a room for the littles, it was not a daycare center.
I tried.
It was not. It was not a room where they babysit your children. No, it was not.
No.
That's not. No, that's not what littles mean. So yeah, that's a heavier kink convention in Orlando. But it's like, but it's like when I hit that realization that it's like I was doing this already, right? And it's like, oh snap, it's like, so it's like, so okay, so how does this work into what I'm doing already, right?
Right.
So, so I already have I don't know if you want to go on this road trip. The shit's literally called SmutCon.
Yeah.
So so it's like, so look, now here's the thing, right? So I already had a taste of this when I did Medieval Unicorn Viking Slut on Kickstarter.
Right.
It was the most backers I ever had on a Kickstarter, right? And it's the most women I've ever had pledged to my campaign. And it's like, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. I mean, it's like, and already the whole like Viking slut dynamic. Yeah, yes, we can. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Exactly. Me and Nita will work the con and you can go hiking. So, so it's like, what? It's like, so I did this already, so it's like, okay, we have the wolf guy, the unicorn girl. We already got started, right? So it's like, but I can just as easily just do like, have like a whole collection of collectible wolf guys. A whole collection of collectible unicorn guys. Just as kind of like a little
5 different personalities.
Right, exactly. Kind of like how we were trying to figure out House of Bob.
The hostess. Yes.
Remember,
Yes. And
it's like, we were here already. We were here already. So, so yeah, so now it's just like this weird pivoting that I'm beginning to like that's really beginning to come together after like realizing this last night. All roads lead to furry. All roads lead to furry. What if furry fandom was run by women? It'd be Monsterotica convention. Zodiac. Yeah, Zodiac. Right, exactly. Like these were kind of like more generic ideas. I was percolating when I was thinking of like, it's like, when I was kind of like leaning more, it's like, oh, should I go into like that whole Artist Alley stationery thing, right? And I was trying to come up with all of these generic ideas, and I never really got into it because it's like, I'm completely changing what I do already, in order to like survive the space. And I mean, I guess I can, I mean, there's some things that I could still do like very generically, but like, if the road doesn't lead to furry, what does it lead to? What
are you even a person?
Are you even a person? Yeah, it's like, so that's, so yeah, so this is, so yeah, so it's like, I'm watching Rob, I'm watching Sam, and it's like, okay, how do I pivot in this space while still not losing sight of what I do already? And I think that's kind of like a thing that a lot of creators are struggling with in this space. It's like when they're seeing that's like, oh, my comics aren't doing that well on Kickstarter, or this, that, and the other thing. Like, what am I going to do? Right? Like, how are we going to maneuver this changing landscape? More furry covers? I mean, Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, um, it's like, why not? In the end, it's like that could
Right.
be an audience that you could, also attract yourself to. Um, I know I would enjoy them. you know, um, can never have too many Viking werewolves. Never. So, um, so it's like, so I guess like the whole thing is that the frustration with pivoting comes when you don't understand how you're supposed to pivot. And it's like, and that was kind of like the thing that I was struggling with for a bit. It's like, I know I'm supposed to pivot. I know where I'm supposed to pivot, but how am I supposed to pivot? And it's like, and then there comes a thing, it's like, well, how much do I want to sacrifice of what I'm doing already? In order to pivot. Did I really want to be a tchotchke seller that just happened to do comics that have nothing to do with the tchotchkes that I'm selling?
Right.
Did I want it to be like a generic stationary person? And I have a whole plan for that as well. And it's like I said, I really didn't follow that because it's like, that's not really something that I want to do. I don't want to be a generic tchotchke person. I want this to be as personal as the work that I'm doing already. It's like Jose said the other day that it's like, if you don't either bleed or cry for your work, why are you even doing it? Furries do like some of my stuff, but not so much the feral cover. What do you mean the feral cover?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
One.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, though, if you do like some cute pinups of like Snowpaw, depending on who you're targeting, I mean those will work. Those, you can like, put those up on. I open up a Fur Affinity account. I mean, you don't have to get like really imagine us. I think it's cyclical. I believe that one of the issues with all of us, we are stuck in a microsphere. It's hard for us to find that non-Kickstarter audience that exists in brick and mortar spaces. Yeah. And like I said, I heard a great quote the other night: make the main thing the main thing. Yeah.
Yo.
And it's like, and that's what Rob, any of the covers, yes, they have to be handsome.
And that's funny because I, as a furry, think that one of those is the hottest.
The one that was really, the one that made me stop was the one with the demon girl, the green demon, like the dragon girl, whatever. I haven't read that far. And that was like a really good one. But again, it's like, I think that if you lean more towards, the Viking werewolf, I forgot. I don't have it conveniently near me, but
sexy snarling.
There's a fine line. Hot, not ugly. So yeah, because it's like, so that's the thing, like that both Rob and Sam did. They went all in on their characters. And it's like, and even like Sam was saying that the other day, that it's like, even though he has these other books, he went all in with Duty. That's like, that was going to be the character he was going to hyper focus on. He has his, Forbidden, he has Catch the Crazies, he has some prose books that he did, he has some children's books that he did, but the main focus of his, right, yeah. Although, yes, with the succubus, yes, that one. Vor's a thing. So depends on the audience whether they like that praying mantis shit or not. So it's like, so I guess like the thing that I was trying to figure out is, how do I go all in without feeling like I'm abandoning something? And I think this might be it. It's like, bitch, you a furry. Keep doing furry shit. You know? And it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely does. But here's the difference. A lot of folks do not like the term furry because for some reason it tends to carry stigma with the people who will eat anthro up. And it's like, bitch, it's the same
thing.
fucking thing.
Yeah, there's still kind of like this, because there was this comedian who's in the book in the book talk sphere, and I had posted up his video where it's like he was talking about like it's like about werewolves, you know, why werewolves are so popular as a genre. And he goes, one, it's because you want to be able to show the worst side of yourself and still be loved for it. Or two, you're a furry. Either way, get therapy.
Right.
That's how the joke goes, right? And it's like, you know what? It's like, yeah, it's like how many of these women are just closeted furries?
If it walks like a duck and talks like a human, it's a furry.
Right. You know, so, right, exactly. So here I am trying to figure out my pivot point, essentially, right? And realizing that it's like, yeah, I overthought it. And because I overthought it, I missed my exit. And now it's like, we gotta go back. Turn around.
Oh, we got this.
You know, that it was always, that in the end, it was always there. That it's like, you're all furries. You know? So I'm just gonna play more with this idea. You know, and it's like this whole thing about having like a Chippendales style mascot thing, you know, that'll work, you know, that wouldn't be so different from like medieval unicorn slut stuff, you know. Right. And it's like it would kind of like all kind of like fit in together, but they would serve different purposes. So, but it also wouldn't be anything different than what I'm doing already, you know, which I think in the end was what I was trying to figure out. You know, it's like, I didn't want to start from scratch, you know, but it's like, you know, and here's the thing too, right? Here's the funny thing too, right? Because it's like this whole Monsterotica thing, right? It kind of also dovetails into House of Bob somehow. You know, I mean, it's like, and it's like, again, I was here already, you know, because it's like I do have this sketchbook that I offered up. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Like what a mess. Like I already have like an all male sketchbook, right? This one's clean, so you know I can open it up, right? So it's all male characters, right? And the funny thing is, like when I was putting this together, when I was revamping it, right, I was like going, damn, you know, if I were to do this again, it would look a lot different, you know. And it's like that's exactly what I'm going to do. You know, it's like I'm going to be doing this all over again, but for an unintended audience. But I could also offer it up as a House of Bob sketchbook as well. So it's like, you know, it's kind of like Eureka. You know, it's like little light bulb flashes, and it's like that's it. It's like that's my pivot point. And the thing is, though, it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, when you're working on a project that it's like you feel like, oh, where's my audience? Where's my audience? Where's my audience? And it's like, and sometimes you have to be a little bit more creative as to where you're going to pivot. But at the same time, you know, you don't, if you really believe in the work that you're doing, you have to figure out how to be able to go all in on your work and be able to pivot at the same time to attract the other audiences that you want. Or you know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
it's like I don't know if I got through it. It's like Jose said the other day that it's like if
Absolutely.
if you don't cry or if you don't bleed, if you're not bleeding or crying for your work, why are you even bothering?
Yeah.
Right? So boy, have I been crying.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like, so if you're, so like I said, if you're kind of like a little stuck, I guess I really do suggest that you look at what Rob Multari is doing, especially look at what Sam Vera is doing on his channel, Catch the Crazies, and the Art of Samuel. That's his other channel, his art channel, because that's where he does his Artist Alley content.
Right.
So go study what he's doing, and like try to like figure out. It's like, look, this is the Artist Alley scene. We can complain about print mongers all we want. They're not going to go away.
Right.
As the price of tables go up, it's like we need to do what we need to do to continue surviving
Yeah.
that environment. So it's like, how can you take what you're doing and pivot it in a way where you can fit it into this environment? And it's like, and pretty much survive it, because I know that I've said that, I've said, oh, it's like, if things got bad, I just go get a job. It's so much easier to just get a regular job, right? But then it's like, no, I don't.
Because that's not the dream. It's
Right.
just a job.
Right. Yeah. It's like, you know what? No, that's not what I want to do. You know what? It's like, let's stop being lazy, right? And let's figure out how to make this work. It's like getting a job is like literally last resort type of shit, right? But in the meantime, if I can pivot in a way where I can like expand my audience and continue what I'm doing as I'm doing it, then let's do that first. Is it a harder road? Yes. But the thing is, though, that road's going to be more worth it than just going back to FedEx and working 40 hours or 32 hours or whatever the fuck. It's like,
Right.
So yeah, so especially for 2025, it's like, the word, as someone hunting for a day job, it's impossible to get a job right now. Stick with what you're doing. Yeah.
We have 3 teenagers and there's nothing.
So it's like, what? If hustling an Artist Alley is what I need to do, then I have to figure out the way.
OnlyFans.
No, we don't have to. Although, like I said, I have seriously thought about that for House of Bob.
$15.95.
That would require too much of a commitment for me to keep it up, though. That would require a lot of artwork production to have a House of Bob OnlyFans. So that's the only reason why.
Absolutely.
Being unhappy at a 9 to 5 is so different than being frustrated at chasing the dream. Yeah. At chasing the dream. Yeah. That's true. You have to do what it takes to make you whole. It's a quality of life thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So not 2025 is the year we get weird. I think it's
as if we weren't weird already.
Right? Yeah, exactly. No,
Buckle up, bitches.
Yeah, I think 2025 is the year we get fucking weird. Because you know what?
Weird.
What's left? What's left? I mean, other than learning the genders of different breads in Spanish and apples, I mean, yeah, get weird. 2025, let's get weird.
Yeah,
that's the theme.
Yes,
know
my
what?
queen, I will follow you anywhere.
So yeah. You know what? I want to be the weirdo at the Monster Erotica convention. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because I think I'm going to be in good company. So yeah. 2025, let's get weird. Let's make it worth it. So the NyQuil's wearing off.
Take another sip.
Yeah, but yeah. So you have any thoughts, Nina?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. I think
I've
that's
got I got a shit ton of blogging to do. Like,
Yeah.
doing
I-
those soul sucking blogs for ads and shit, so that
Yeah.
I can make Christmas a little better for the kids.
Oh,
Because
right.
we
Yeah,
have
of
been
course.
bombarded with unexpected fucking bills.
Yeah, as but yeah, it's you know what? Yeah, fuck it. That's kind of the theme for 2025. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Fuck it and get paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Some high level comics prostitution.
Oh my goodness. So any house out furry comics for your absolutely, yeah. So any final thoughts? Any housekeeping at the end here?
The only housekeeping is there's some major changes to the network coming up. A lot of it has to do with cost and timing.
Right.
We will be dropping the majority of draw streams beginning in January. I will be putting links into the playlist that you can find and follow those artists on their own individual YouTube channels.
Right.
Because of StreamYard jacking up the prices, I'm going to downgrade. And so we won't be streaming to as many destinations.
Right.
That's now we're trying to figure out which destinations are getting the biggest result. And so far, that seems to be Facebook and YouTube. So anything outside of that's going to be fucking bonus. And with Facebook, it allows us to share out into the groups, but we can't stream directly to.
Right.
It's just chaos.
Right.
Freaking downsizing, but trying to keep the quality up. And that's with everything right now. All
Right.
the tools, and just so stay tuned.
Right.
Follow my shit show.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. That's what we're gonna be doing. And you're all gonna love it.
Yo.
So that's it for me as well. Yeah, Getting Freaky live in 2025.
There we go. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Look, if we're not laughing, we're crying, and who the fuck wants to do that?
I've cried enough.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's time to let the freak flag fly. Oh my goodness. So if you learned too much about me and want to learn more, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook. If you are interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates and any weird pinups that I might decide to put up there. And remember that you can also catch me here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage Art. That's Lage, for an archive of 600 plus videos on how I make my comics and my semi-weekly art live streams Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's usually every alternate Wednesday or pretty much whenever I feel like posting, if I'm feeling okay. 4 p.m. Eastern. It's 2 hours of me just working on whatever and talking to the chat, kind of like being at a convention, but you don't have to worry about blocking my table. And also you can read Eager Raven, Heir the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears in the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday and is currently on Kickstarter right now in the first volume trade paperback. The link is in the chat and in the show notes. And both my comics can be read on Webtoon as well. Eager Raven and Tall Tales are now in their second issues. And Eager Raven updates on Tuesdays and Tall Tales updates on Thursdays. So if you want to read it on Webtoons, you can do that too. So, and thank you for everybody who's, I guess, like voted on the two series, giving them nice little ratings. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I'm getting yeah, I know, right? Oh my God, I'm getting more congested as we go along. So let's kind of finish this. Let's bring out the ancients. There they are. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work. Because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.